Good afternoon, evening, or morning, wherever you are. I just wanted to give you an update. Today is day 30 for me, and I have learned so much in the past 30 days, and I have mostly felt super fantastic. But part of the learning process was learning about what foods and drinks I can and cannot drink. Discovered I have some major allergy issues. Anyway, so I will go into that in a little bit more detail, but I actually made some notes because one of my issues is brain fog. Now that has improved. How is it an issue? Well, it becomes an issue when I have food that I have an allergy to, or early in the morning and I haven't had coffee. The words just don't flow as easily. I pause often, I have to think, I'm easily distracted by cars, barking dogs, people passing by. So all of those things make it difficult for my mind to stay on track. Well, it's mostly better. Not 100% improved, but that's okay. It's only 30 days in. And if you keep having foods that you have allergies to, that causes inflammation, and inflammation in your brain also causes brain fog. So there you go. And I just happened to have guests over the weekend. We had a blast. We went to Medicine Park in Oklahoma, and we went swimming on Saturday. It was 102, no, Friday, no, Saturday. It was 102. So we just stayed in the water. It was great. Sunday, we went hiking at Quartz Mountain, and I think we did 4.6, or I did 4.6 miles that day. Well, I might have done more. I think I did 4 in the morning, so I almost did 9 miles that day. The next day, we went to Caprock Canyon, near Turkey, Texas, which is a couple hour drive from here. And because of the drive and doing a little sightseeing, I wound up with only about 4.6 miles that day. But I got my friends started on carnivore. Hooray! Because I had nothing else at home. I had just meat and eggs. And so that's what they ate. Anyway, so I know my girlfriend, Sylvia, if you would pray for her, and her husband, Les. I know she's very convinced. I don't know if he thinks he can do it, so we'll see. Anyway, he has a stent and has had problems with high cholesterol, and I think that's probably part of his skepticism, is he's a little bit, afraid because he's used to listening to all the standard medical advice. Eating too much meat raises your cholesterol and it'll give you a heart attack. So anyway, I guess I need to send him a video from Dr. Philip Ovadia. Anyway, so I was really happy about that. So I just want to go ahead. I jotted down 35 health issues I experienced and that are mostly relieved. I'd say 90% of them since I've started on the carnivore diet. I have a few issues, allergies being one of them, but that's going to take some time because I'm 61 and I've eaten a crap diet most of my life. About 10 years ago, I did stop eating sugar, but I was using a lot of artificial sweeteners and gradually went toward more of a paleo diet. And finally, like 2 months before carnivore, went to keto, 20 grams of carbs less per day. And then for another couple weeks, I did 10 grams of carbs or less per day, and then jumped into carnivore. So I'm feeling great. The most important thing to me, because I want to hike the Appalachian Trail, is that for the last 2 years I was only able to average 2.5 miles a day walking or hiking, and now I'm up to 7.5. I have tripled the distance I'm able to walk. Hooray! I've lost 13 pounds now. That's including from the time I spent on keto as well. 13 pounds in total. I weighed 145.8. It was so nice to see that 145 number. I hung around 146, you know, seriously. I'm creeping down by ounces. It would be 146.8, 146.6, 146.4, 146.2. Unless I had something I was allergic to. I might jump up a couple pounds for that day because I'd hang on to all this water weight from the inflammation. I might have indentations like in my sock line and what have you. So now I know no egg whites. I can have yolks. But oh my goodness, no egg whites. At least for not 6 months anyway. I might try it again. So let me tell you about the 35 health issues that I experienced before I was on this change of lifestyle. Number one, allergies, mold, pollen, grass, ragweed. I still take one Zyrtec a day, but I used to take a Zyrtec each morning and a Benadryl at night. Most of the time I take either one or the other now, mostly just the Zyrtec every day, and that's enough. But sometimes I might forget. So then I might take the Benadryl at night. I've had dandruff problems, hair loss. Now I have these little baby hairs that are growing back in. That's kind of cool. Of course, with allergies, you have sinusitis. I still have a little bit of dark circles under my eyes, but they're not nearly as bad. I probably ought to dig up a before picture and show you how awful they looked. Halitosis, bad breath. Gingivitis, dental caries. The bad breath is mostly gone. Gingivitis. My gums no longer bleed. I do have a cavity in the tooth I need to get taken care of. Not working right now, so anyway, I have had vision loss due to Fuchs dystrophy, epithelial basement membrane dystrophy, cataracts, detailed vitreous layer, and now a failed corneal transplant. So, and again, I suspect that failure was due to all the inflammation that was in my body. You know, the tissue, the cells attached, but they never started multiplying, dividing, and doing their job, doing the work. So they call it a failure. There was so much inflammation, like at my visit in May, that they couldn't get a reading on my corneal thickness even. So that was not good. So that continues to be a problem. However, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, and I've had half my, you can see the scar, I've had half my thyroid out. I had a goiter. I had labs done while I was on keto, and my TSH, free T3 and free T4 are normal, so I was happy to see that. Previously, well, and I'm sure it's still there, but I don't have pain now. I have arthritis, degenerative disc disease in my spine, multiple herniated discs in the past, subluxation. That's where you look up too high. Right here, your bone will actually impinge on the spinal nerve. let's see. So most of that pain is all gone. I still have some pain in my ankles and feet at times, and some cramping. I have to keep my magnesium level up. That's number one. Number two, I have to stay well hydrated. Number three, avoid things that I have allergies to. Like I had trouble sleeping after eating those eggs. You know, my friends could eat eggs, so I knew I had already discovered I could eat the yolk, so I really wanted to know because there were 3 different foods that one day I had a reaction to. I didn't know if it was the avocado wasn't ripe enough, that was back when I was doing keto, or if it was the tuna, or if it was the eggs. So I found out on Sunday, egg whites, oh, big problem, no go. I couldn't sleep hardly that night. I had a lot of back pain, a lot of inflammation. It just stinks. Anyway, so avoiding all dairy and all eggs. And I feel great as long as I do. So next, LPRs, number 21. That's laryngopharyngeal reflux. You all are familiar with GERDs, gastroesophageal reflux. Well, LPR is just when you have acid come up high enough to burn your vocal cords. And that's probably why I had asthma problems as well. At least my doctor surmised. I don't have that anymore. I mean, my vocal cords are scarred. That's kind of a problem. That's why my voice is a little deeper. But I'm no longer taking any medication for acid. I no longer have any acid burning my throat. And as far as that is, I'm doing great. Asthma, haven't used an inhaler in months. Sciatica, that's where you get a pinched nerve in your lower back and it goes all the way down your leg. Gone. Claudication. I was eating a really crappy diet during nursing school. It's a 1-year program. And I was eating prepackaged food. What can I say? You know, I didn't have time to cook. I was always studying or doing clinicals or in class. So, during that period of time, my legs would cramp if I walked too far of a distance, and I would have the same cramping at night. Have to switch sides. Well, actually, what I usually would have to do is sit up on the side of the bed several nights in order to get the cramp to stop. I'd even have to stand up sometimes, and that would make it go away. But I just didn't have enough blood flow. My feet would be extremely cold, too. My nurse practitioner thought I might have Raynaud's, which is a phenomenon when your blood flow doesn't happen properly. It's a little thicker because of being too cold. You have IgM antibodies. So, really, I don't believe I have that anymore as long as I avoid foods I'm allergic to. Otherwise, I'm great. Insomnia, narcolepsy. I just couldn't sleep. I mean, getting through nursing school was tough when you couldn't sleep. I never slept more than 4 or 5 hours a night. And some people can function. Well, now I could. I can function on that now. I've got a lot more energy and my brain will still work as long as I'm on meat, the proper human diet. So I'm not falling asleep all day long either. Brain fog. Well, the major issue with that, of course, is aphasia. You can't think of words or lose track of what you were saying. I would lose objects, and I still do. If I have a food or a drink I have some kind of allergy reaction to, there you go. lose something, I would spend an hour looking for it, and it was in a place that I looked. One, I don't see very well. Two, I didn't take all the items out, just kind of going by feel. And I missed it. So that was frustrating, but having my brain work better, being better organized, it's making my life so much smoother. I used to have irritable bowels. I'd have constipation, diarrhea all the time. Very inflamed belly. I'd always looked like I was 4 months pregnant. Sleep apnea. When I had surgery on my eye, the anesthesiologist said, you have sleep apnea. You were snoring really bad. You've got to go have a sleep study. Well, I went on the carnivore diet instead. I don't think I need to. Because when I did sleep studies, they just showed that I had insomnia. Imagine that. Anyway, so there you go. All right. Well, this goes on. I mean, I was a train wreck. Like I said, most of this is greatly improved. And I'm only 30 days in. Okay, depression. I was diagnosed in my early 20s with depression. Been on Prozac, Wellbutrin, you name it. I think I was on Prozac for about 12 or 15 years before I quit working altogether. So how did this affect me? I had trouble completing tasks of daily living and like getting dishes done, organization, household cleaning, food prep, self-care. I mean, I could go to school and I could work and do well at those, but when I was at home, that was when the depression would bother me. I just felt overwhelmed, like it was just too much. Let's see, when I was in nursing school, I had a bone density scan, and it showed that I had osteoporosis. I know I should probably get a DEXA scan. I forgot to talk to my nurse practitioner about that, but I don't know if I need it now. Well, it'd be kind of nice to show it improves on the carnivore diet. Let's see. Peripheral neuropathy. With my spinal problems and all the inflammation I had from autoimmune diseases like Sjogren's syndrome, my Hashimoto's, connective tissue disease, arthritis. Well, all that inflammation results in your nerves are being basically starved to oxygen, so you have decreased sensation, you have pins and needles sensation, painful shooting, pains, kind of like somebody's jabbing a coat wire through your nerves into your feet, So that was pretty awful, but I'm not experiencing it, it's gone. Let's see, I had probable lupus. I had 7 of the 8 criteria, but and my doctor, Craig Carson, at the time felt I had Crohn's disease, but I kind of decided not to have a colonoscopy because the only surgeon we had in town that would do those, he was 80 years old, and I was a little wary about having anything done by someone that far up there. Now, if he was on a carnivore diet, maybe that would have been different. And last but not least, I've had some toxicity testing, and I have toxic levels of mercury, lead, and gadolinium. So I probably need to have some chelation therapy, but it's not paid for by insurance, so I don't know how that's going to happen unless I can get back to work. Right now, it's kind of hard to find work. let alone transportation back and forth to Oklahoma City from this rural town. It's over 2.5 hours. I'm not supposed to drive except for in town. Well, I did find one agency that'll provide transportation up to Oklahoma City for me for a series of appointments on September 11th. I have surgery the following week, September 18th, and that's all I get, one a month. After that, you have to pay for it. I think it's 119 miles. It's $1.50 a mile. Do the math. I think it's around $180. Kind of expensive. I think I'll be driving, whether I like it or not. You know, it's obvious I'm going to have to sell my house. I don't really want to, but I've got to move somewhere where I have public transportation to my doctor's. So that's it. That's my summary. I am doing great. Let's see, today so far I had done 4 or 5 miles. I've done another 1.25, so that's 6.25 miles. I got a good little bit to go, but that's okay. I'm gonna keep at it. You keep at it too. Don't forget, exercise is just as important as eating a healthy diet. So all you've got to do is put on your shoes and walk out the door. Y'all have a great day, and I hope I motivate you. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.